Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'd like to join with Hunter with his movie, All the Words on the Page. Let's take a look at the clip.
I share my father.
Hunter, firstly, thank you so much for being part of New Filmmakers LA and also traveling from New York to be here as well.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing your film to us. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's about Arlo, and he is new to New York City. He's going on a conservatory audition, and he expects that he's going to perform this monologue from Chekhov's The Seagull, but he unexpectedly receives a cold read. So the script is changed on him, and we watch him strategize and navigate how he's going to get through this cold read. And Arlo is a dyslexic actor, so receiving a cold read is quite a challenge for him.
Yeah, I mean, I really felt for Arlo. I was like, oh no, because that emotion is pressure enough as it is to go into that experience. But then also as well, when you've been given a cold read and you have dyslexia, it's a whole nother ball game that you're playing with. Where did this inspiration for this story come about for you, Hunter?
Yeah, well, I was transitioning into film from theater, and I knew if I was going to make a narrative short film that I wanted to know the entire subject matter.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know the world that it was framed in.
Yeah.
So I'm dyslexic, my father's dyslexic, and I came from the theater, so I knew most about dyslexia and the theater, and I put together this film.
It's amazing, and I'm really glad that you did, because I think it really shone the light on this character and obviously your own experience as well, because I think it's something that most people don't realize. There are many more people that go through it than we think or that we know, and you also kind of show the dynamic of what that looks like and how that feels as well. Again, the stakes are high in an acting conservatory audition. How did you go about putting these characters together and bringing your wonderful cast as well? Which I'm sure is interesting, because it's like you've got acting within acting, and then you were directing obviously as well.
Yeah, so the ensemble, not excluding Arlo, are most of my friends. I've known Jeff since 2018. I've known Mona for like almost a decade now, and Paul Lazar, who is in a lot of Jonathan Demme's films. I've worked for him, and he's my neighbor just up the street.
In the family, there you go.
Yeah. And then I hired Violet Trotter, who's a casting director out of New York City, unbelievable casting director, and we needed a dyslexic actor. And I didn't know, anybody who was dyslexic. And so we put out a call for a dyslexic actor for the short, and in walks on the Zoom Max Isaacs, Max is not diagnosed properly with dyslexia, but he is dyslexic. Because there's dyslexia that's diagnosed and there's undiagnosed dyslexia. Most people actually have undiagnosed dyslexia. And Max was Arlo when I saw him. And what was great about working with Max is that he's a generative actor. So he brought a lot of his personal experiences with navigating acting and dyslexia into the character. And it's really tough to act like you're not good at acting when you're an actor, and Max just knocks it out of the park.
He's brilliant. I didn't even want to see him do badly in the cold read for his character. I was like, no, he's really a really great actor. That is a very interesting dynamic. Firstly, it's always lovely to have, obviously you as a director, could really kind of obviously have empathy and relate to the character's circumstance, right? And what that feels like. How was that relationship as a director-actor? Because the really nice thing is that you were able to kind of understand, what Arlo was going through, like literally in real life as well. And how did you navigate that from like script to page to performance to, how was that dynamic for you as director to actor?
Right. I think an important thing was me letting go.
Yeah.
And we also had a little bit of rehearsals before. And I just allowed Max to bring himself to it. And I think what's nice about the script that I wrote, it's a condensed script. So the stakes are automatically heightened. So I think that allows a lot of room for great acting to happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. And honestly as well, because I think, for many, there's a lot more, as I say, there's a lot more dyslexia, especially in actors, really great actors that have dyslexia, and some speak out about it, like you say, some have been diagnosed, some haven't. What advice would you have for any filmmakers working with an actor with dyslexia and the approach? Is there any different approaches or things you can help to support them on their journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you're working with anybody who's dyslexic, whether it be an actor or a young student, I think you have to recognize that they're interpreting information different than you. Mm-hmm. You have to allow that space for that to happen.
Yeah, definitely. That's, as we should do with all people, right, for different things, absolutely. What have you kind of mostly learned from making this film?
Yeah, I think I was really lucky that I just had such great collaborators. Mm-hmm. I had never made a film before.
Congratulations.
And I really relied on Nico Tepper, who was the cinematographer, and he really guided me through this process. And if it wasn't for him and Max and Violet, the film, it would have just been me trying to figure out how to make a film, and those collaborators just really helped me out. Yeah,
cinematography was great. It was very moody, and I loved the kind of experience that you kind of gave us and the journey that you took us into as well. What's it been like taking this film on the road? Obviously, we loved having it at NewFilmmakers LA. And you're talking about a subject between an actual story of someone going into an audition, but it's got multiple layers on, especially as you can take it from your own experience as well and be able to kind of relay that to an audience. How's that experience been for you?
Yeah, I think we've taken it to, it's all been throughout all North America, and it's been a good experience. I think it's something that people don't think a whole lot about. Mm-hmm. But at this moment, people are really starting to talk about dyslexia. Mm-hmm. There's a documentary out called Left Behind, which is about the public school system in New York City and parents navigating students with dyslexia.
Yeah.
And it's great to just be a part of this conversation that's starting to happen right now. Mm-hmm. And hopefully there's some change in my lifetime with this.
Yeah. Well, you're part of that change by making films like this as well, which is amazing. And you come from a theater background.
Yeah.
Moved into film. Mm-hmm. Is there more film now?
Oh, Hunter? Yeah, there is more film.
What's next on the horizon?
I'm working on another short at the moment, and then I'm writing my first feature.
Amazing. Yeah. That's super exciting. So you got the bug now. You feel like you want to make
more film. I have the bug. I'm just I was basically waiting for this film to be finished just so I could start making the next one.
I love it.
Can't wait.
And again, it's a very hard question, so take it as you please, but what is the biggest difference you've noticed from theater to film? Like, what was the dynamic where you're like, oh, this is very different?
I love this question. I actually love talking about the difference between the two. The biggest difference is time.
Yeah.
So film is 24 frames per second, and then it's played back. And theater is happening right in front of you. So the way that you talk to actors, the way that you think about time, the way you structure time is completely different than theater. Yeah.
That's so true. Yes, absolutely. There you go. That's
and if you're shooting on film, like we were, the stakes are heightened as soon as that buzz goes on with the camera. And that's completely different. That actually reminds me, the buzz of like a 16mm camera reminds me of being in front of an audience because you can hear it. And you can hear the audience. So when the actors hear that, they just go, they're on.
That's true.
And that's great. Yeah.
That's true. And as a filmmaker, storyteller, what kind of, for a filmmaking, storytelling audience, what kind of advice do you share that sort of supports you as an artist?
For anyone in particular?
Yeah, anyone's delivering. Is there anything that kind of supports you in sort of like keeping going, in your journey?
I just think, I've always, because I grew up, I am dyslexic. The systems that work for everybody else never worked for me. Mm-hmm. They just never worked. And I always had to be the one to push through. And I always say, like, you just can't give up. You just can't give up on yourself, and you can't give up on your film. That's all you have to do, and it's really, that's all you have to do. But I think that's the main thing.
Can't give up on yourself and can't give up on your film. I think that's all we needed to hear, Hunter. Honestly. So. Well, listen, we are so grateful you brought your film to us. We're ready for your next projects, but thank you so much for coming all the way from the East Coast to be here, and thank you for bringing your film to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hunter, everybody.